Okay, so looks like we are on and we will get started. So let me just close a few things. Okay, so we are live on Facebook and let me just check where my YouTube is because my YouTube is supposed to be on as well. Okay, so we are going live on YouTube as well. All right, and it looks like our YouTube is doing something a little bit funny because I'm not exactly sure why it's capturing all of that stuff. So let's see here. So we will go live onto Facebook and there we are. Okay, let me just move this thing over here because I'm seeing a few things popping onto my screen and I'm not sure why that is. Okay, so we are on and hopefully this is working. If not, we will make it work the next time. Okay, so welcome to Money Matters. It is October the 9th and it is Thanksgiving in Canada. So I want to give a big, love and shout out to my family and friends on this wonderful day. I would not be where I am today without you guys. So super thankful, grateful and thankful to all of you guys for supporting me and getting me to where I am today. So thank you for that. I am Huong Lu. I am with Cash Property Inc. And for the next 30 to 45 minutes, we are going to be answering your questions about real estate. And we will also be looking at, today we're going to be looking at for sale by owner. So we're going to go onto that site and check out if there's any deals and analyze the opportunity in an Excel sheet. So we will do that right now. So before I get into the for sale by owner website, I want to just put a disclaimer out there that all of the ideas and stuff that we talk about today is really just my ideas. Please go and check with somebody else, a lawyer, an accountant, another real estate investor, and just make sure that what we're talking about today is going to work for you. Okay, so, so just a disclaimer there. Okay, so let's go into the analysis. I do have a bunch of questions that came in, a couple of them asking for further clarifications on some of the answers and questions that we did the last time. So we will get to those at the end. So we are going to do the analysis first because I've had a lot of feedback coming back, even from seasoned investors saying that, analyzing deals is one of their weak points. And so I want to make sure that we constantly look at an opportunity and analyze it. So let me share with you guys the screen for sale by owner, and we will walk through what that is and then how to find a deal and how to analyze it. So we will go to, let's see here, this is for sale by owner. We are specifically looking at the Canadian website. So you can see that up here. Okay, so I only invest in Canada. So in terms of property investing here, so I will explain that in another session if somebody is interested in knowing why I only do Canada. So this is the website here. Okay, so let me see here. So so you just go here, search listings, how to list. Okay, so what we want to do is find an opportunity in Canada to invest in. Okay, so we're going to search for a property. Okay, and now I'm actually looking at multifamilies, commercial. I'm not doing singles or duplexes, triplexes anymore. Like my search has changed over the years. And so that is something to keep in mind that, you may start in one strategy today. And then as the economy changes, as your portfolio, as your capital changes, as the number, like the people that you know in your network changes, your strategy will change as well. So I used to do rent to owns and I don't do rent to owns anymore. So let's go into Canada here. Okay, so I will pretty much invest anywhere in Canada as long as the numbers and the opportunity make sense. So, at one time we looked at some stuff in Saskatchewan. The last time we looked at some stuff in BC. So today, let's see here. So we're going to get rid of this need help thing here. So let's see what it says here. So there's 12.5 and a couple of ones here. There's nothing in Canada, sorry, in the rest of Canada. So we're going to do another search now that we're out, that far out. So let's see if that makes a difference in terms of what opportunities come up. Okay, so it is pushing me back to this geographical area here. Okay, so the red is realtor.ca. The blue is for sale. This other, sorry, the red with the R is on realtor. Okay, so, and then this one here is rent to own. So that's quite interesting that there's a bunch of houses for rent to own. So let's actually do a rent to own opportunity and see if there's something there. So, okay, I want to go over here. I'm going to refine my search. Okay, I don't want it unlimited. I want to go to, let's just say $1 million, and then we're going to go up. We're going to leave it at 0. Save this search. No, I don't want that line. Square foot type. Let's see here. So I'm going to leave it at any. And let's just see if we can do Alberta here. So we're going to close and we're going to search. Let's see if I may need to refine my search a little bit more, because I want to see if there is, okay, it isn't actually giving me that option to do rent to own here, because I want to look, oh, there's one right there. Okay, so let's see if we can zoom in and do that rent to own one right there. Okay, so this is on an island. So you do have to sort of do that analysis to see if you want to be way out there on an island. This is 0 baths, 0 beds. That means it's probably vacant land. Yeah, so vacant land, rent to own. So here's the thing. If you are going to build on it, okay, and be able to do that fairly quickly, this rent to own may be a very good opportunity, because you're renting to own a piece of land. You're going to increase the value on that piece of land. Now, here's the thing with rent to own, though, is that let's just say you go and you build this house. Okay, now you've increased the value of that piece of land, that property. You, for whatever reason, cannot get a mortgage because it's on an island. Okay, maybe you know there's no hydro there, so you need to make sure that you can get financing on an island. Okay, now let's just say for some reason you cannot get financing. Well, here's the problem now. The owner of that land gets that house that you've just built. Okay, and they get to keep the land. Okay, when it's a rent to own, and if you're the tenant first, or if you're the person coming in with the option to execute the rent to own, and you decide to walk away from the deal, you lose everything that you've put into the deal. Okay, everything that you've put into the opportunity. So any of the down payment money, any of the top-up money, any of the improvements that you've made to that land, you completely lose. Okay, so rent to own is not the same thing as agreement for sale. That's a completely different strategy. Okay, some similarities, but you just want to make sure on that. So if you, okay, so let's take a look at what this rent to own is structuring here. So you should see the new screen here. Okay, so vacant land owning on Pender Island, BC. Okay, so what is this? How come there's already a mini house on there? Oh, and look, there's a house back there. Oh, okay. So if you look at this carefully, what they've done is they've put an image of what a house could look like on this piece of land. Okay, so it's actually not an existing house. So it's an artist overlay of micro cabin. Okay, that's genius. Okay, so this is the waterfront. So that's very nice. So what you are buying here is the opportunity to own a piece of land, build on it, okay, and then go and refinance this on your own, and you know, and then pay the current owner out, which is great. So so a dream retirement, low cost, full self-control home, Victoria. Okay, so at the top of the property, there's a street level, okay, undeveloped site. The property is pie-shaped. Okay, so there is electricity at the property line. So what that means is you would need to run electricity to the house that you're going to build. Okay, so not a big deal. There's a cost to that, so you just want to factor that in. There's high-speed internet, so that's fantastic. Water system at the property line. Okay, so the seller will be willing to co-own the property with the buyer to develop. Okay, so this is very interesting. So potentially you could have the buyer hold the land. Okay, so they're already willing to do a rent to own anyways, but potentially they own the land and you build on it, and then somehow you guys structure a joint venture on it. Okay, or you could say, hey, Mr. Owner, I'm going to build a cabin on it, a house on it, and then like basically do an agreement for sale, basically. Okay, so there's a couple of options there. Pricing, okay, 211 firm. Okay, so they're actually saying it's land only 211 firm. So that's actually, you know, once you do your research, you're going to find out how reasonable is this 211 firm. Okay, so okay, so then keep in mind that this is on an island, so you'd have to use a ferry to get there. So it's a lifestyle purchase as well. Okay, but if you are in Vancouver and or in the rest of the country and you want a place to come to for the winters potentially, or a low cost type of living, this may be an option for you. Okay, so how do we run an analysis on this? Okay, so here's the thing. I myself, I would not run an analysis on this because I know that I'm not going to be able to put a multifamily on here. Now, some landowners on the island are very creative and they do put smaller cabins and then they could rent those out like Airbnb. Okay, so here, let's run it as an Airbnb option. So let's just say we build it and then we're going to potentially rent it out. So let me stop the share and I will bring up our trusted Excel sheet. So let me bring that up. Okay, so now keep in mind that when you are running an analysis, there's so many ways to run it. Okay, so where is my Zoom? Okay, so I'm going to move my Zoom over so I can see the Excel sheet on the bigger screen. All right, where are we here? So share screen. Okay, so you guys are going to see now my Excel sheet. Okay, so I've got a couple of Excel sheets that I like to use. This one in particular is for multifamily, which was what I was sort of thinking we were going to do today, but we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to go back to this spreadsheet here. So you should see the Excel sheet. Okay, and this one here is from Don Campbell's real estate book. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to type in Pender Island. Okay, they are asking 211. So I'm just going to type in 211 there. Okay, so as you can see, my buying price automatically changes. At this point, I'm not going to, you know, look at it at a reduced price. So my renovation costs to build, I'm going to say 220 dollars per square foot times, let's say 2,000 square feet. Okay, so it's going to be a nice home. Okay, so that's already $440,000. That's actually quite, you know, that's high for a single family, but, you know, that's realistic. Okay, so now you could say, well, Huong, you know, 2,000 square feet is quite big. I'm not going to build that much. I'm going to maybe just do 1,000 square feet. Okay, so let's leave it at 1,000 square feet. So it's going to cost you $220,000. So basically now you are going to have spent 431 at the end of it. Okay, now keep in mind, you don't need this total 441,000 right now. Okay, because you're going to do a rent to own, you're going to do a co-share, co-ownership with the landowner. So you don't need that full 211. Okay, your building costs, you're going to stage it over time. So you don't need the full 220. You just need maybe, you know, 20 to 50,000 to get started. When you get to a certain milestone, then you're going to need another 50 and then so on like that. Okay, until you get to about 220. If you are a builder yourself, okay, your cost is going to be a lot less because you're not going to be paying somebody the labor costs. You're not going to be paying full cost for material because as a contractor, you know how to get materials at discount. You know, potentially you're working on other contract jobs and you're getting stuff in bulk. Okay, so there are contractors out there that will work with you. So that may be another idea, right? Is that if you can partner up with a contractor, this may be something where you guys can have part ownership with it. So that's another situation there as well. Okay, so let's just say now we built this house and we're going to Airbnb it, okay, or do short-term rentals. So keep in mind that there may be some fees or taxes that you have to pay if you're going to run a hotel or short-term rentals on the islands. So let's just say, so now it's one, but now we're going to also do like a small bunkie. Okay, so you're going to build that in. Okay, and you can rent that out as well. So let's just say it's a small bunkie. We're going to rent it out for $500 a month. Okay, now also too, let's just say we're also going to build in a tent platform. Okay, and now you're probably going to ask me, what the hell is a tent platform? Okay, so when you're on the island, people love to go to the island for the summer. You can build a platform, which is like a deck, and invite people to come and just pitch their tent. And basically what they're doing is they're tenting without any of the amenities. Okay, these are people who just want to get away from the city, and they're willing to pay for that space to get away. Okay, and especially if there's wonderful stuff to do on the island, they will definitely come and do that. So let's just say we do 20 nights or 20 days, and you are just going to charge $50 a day. Okay, that's $1,000 for the summer. To build something like that, you're looking about maybe, $1,000 to get the platform. Okay, so we're going to just assume that we make that. Okay, so basically you would cover that cost in 1 year and get that back, and then the following year, that cost is already there, right? And so you would make $1,000 just from the summer, assuming you rent it for 20 nights in the summer. Okay, so that's reasonable. So your small bunkie, you're going to rent that for the summer. Okay, oh, so this is per month. So we're going to divide that by 12. Divide that by 12. Okay, so we're basically just spreading it over the year. So you're going to make about $83, assuming that you spread it over the year, okay? But in total, it's going to be $1,000 for the month. The bunkie, you're going to rent that out. Okay, and we're saying that you're actually going to rent that out for the whole year. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. And, $500 for the 12 months. Okay, but now what we're going to do is we're going to say we're actually just going to rent it out for the four months for the summer, and then we're going to divide that by 12. So I'll give you an idea. So that's 166, 167 per month, roughly. Okay, and then this Airbnb, let's just say we do rent it out every single month, and we're going to collect about $2,000. Okay, so it's just a rough number that I'm throwing in there. So now you are making, every single month, you're making $2,250. Okay, so that's the right number there. You're going to make $27,000 for the course of the year. Okay, so the heat you are going to have to pay. So let's just say you're on propane, and we're just going to put in $100 for the year. Okay, so star 12. Okay, and electricity, we're, I don't know, $50 times 12. We'll put that in. Water, you shouldn't have to pay for that if you're on a well system. Taxes, okay, I'm going to leave that taxes as $2,000. Insurance, $2,000. Property management, okay, let's leave that as 10. Repairs, 5. Vacancy, we're going to put 8. Others is 5. Okay, so I usually don't change these numbers. I usually leave those alone. Okay, so now we're at 13,000 for expenses. So another thing that I like to check is what my expense ratio is. So I'll go here, take the 13,000 divided by 27. Oh, that's annual. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so you can see it's actually 49%, so almost 50%. Okay, so that's actually quite high, but it's better to be on the side of caution. So I'm just going to change that to a percentage. Okay, so you might be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to put this down to 8. I'm going to self-manage. Okay, because usually the expense ratio will be anywhere from 30 to 45%. So 47 is a bit on the high end. So now let's just say your vacancy yeah, you know what, I'm not going to change that. 5% for repairs, okay, maybe 3% because it's a newer place. Oh, so that's the other thing too, is that a newer place, the repairs should be lower at the beginning, but then keep in mind that as the years go by, the repairs will go up higher. So let's just say I put the repairs down at 3. Well, okay, now I'm still at 45%. Okay, so that's fine. So let's keep going here. Okay, so you are going to build this and then refinance this. Okay, and because this property is in Vancouver, Van City is amazing to work with. I've heard so many wonderful stories about how they will work with the owners to finance and get the properties under some sort of manageable mortgage. Okay, so let's just say now you take out the first mortgage with Van City. Okay, and I have no affiliations with Van City, so I'm not promoting them for an affiliation or anything like that. Okay, I just really love the premise that they operate their credit union under. Okay, so then you have 42,000 left in the deal. You're going to cash out 168,000. This will be enough to okay, so this, hold on, so this, just to remind you here, this is based on your purchase price of the 111. It's not even factoring in what your future value of this property is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and just say the after repair value. Okay, and I'm just going to merge these cells here. Okay, I'm just going to say that the after repair value, when you're done on this, I'm just going to throw in a number here of 500,000. Okay, so when you go and you refinance this, okay, you're going to be at the 500,000 mark. Okay, so I'm going to go here. So you see, this is the cell times your I5, which it's not that now. It's actually your 500. Okay, so you're going to leave $100,000 in there. So this is money you've already spent. Okay, you're going to tap into, okay, what is going on here? So okay, so 20% of 500,000. Okay, so your balance here, what's going on with my balance? Okay, so it's 500,000, okay, minus my 100. So you're now going to have a mortgage of $400,000. Okay, but at this point, you've taken out 400,000. Like the bank's literally going to give you 400,000. You're going to pay down your rent to own as much as you can. You're going to pay off your construction costs. Okay, so your total in was 431. Okay, and you're going to get about 400 back. So that means you're going to have 31,000 left in the deal, which is pretty good. Now you're going to go and get a mortgage. Let's just say 5%. Okay, you're negative cash flowing though at 920. Okay, so even if you run this number, it's not a good number because you have to pay out $1,000 every month. Okay, so you'd have to look at this and be like, okay, what can I do to decrease the cash flow, because I don't want to be a negative cash flow every single month. Okay, like why is this so high? And you're going to find consistently that because the interest rates are where they are, okay, and because you're refinancing at 400,000, okay, because the rates are so high, it is very difficult to find a positive cash flowing property. Okay, so you're going to need to figure out, okay, is there something I can do with the Airbnb, the rentals? Okay, maybe, you know, yeah, like if you know that you can get more than 2,000 a month consistently with Airbnb, it might be, you know, the numbers will be different. If you are going to maybe do a VTB with the owner, okay, or a rent to own with the owner, you don't need 20 down. So let's just say the owner's okay with 5%. Okay, you're going to have a down payment of 25,000 that you have to give to the owners. Okay, now let's just say you have the 220 to build. Okay, so now you're going to go and only get the money for the, okay, so 25. So I'm going to go back and change this here. So D58 times, we're going to change that back to the buying price. So what you're going to do now is have 10,000 and you're going to do a rent to own with the current owners. Okay, so now your balance isn't 480, it's actually G58, E58. Okay, so it is 211 minus that. So you're going to owe the current owner $200,000 because you're doing a rent to own with them. Okay, you can negotiate the rent, sorry, or the interest rates with them. So let's just say you say to them, hey, owner, I'm going to give you 5% here. Now look at this. Now you're in the positive. Okay, and then you can go and maybe get a second mortgage if you want to, okay, for the difference, because the difference now, like the property now after you build is worth $500,000. Okay, so there's about, you know, close to 300K in equity there. And so as an investor, I would want to tap into that as much as I can. Okay, so now look at this. It's positive cash flowing right now. So if you can figure out a way to, you know, negotiate with the current owner to hold it for you and you pay this off in 5 years, let's say, you know, that may be a good opportunity there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was actually 30 minutes of analyzing. Okay, so we are going to stop this, and what we're going to do now is go quickly into a couple of questions here. Okay, so let me go back to this screen here. So let me just do maybe 1 or 2 questions here. Okay, so one of the comments that I got a couple weeks ago, I think it was that some of the questions coming in were for new investors. And so can I focus on some of the harder questions? So I will attempt to do both, okay? Because it's hard to juggle that sometimes, right? So let me just go through some of the questions and see if we can find something that will, okay, so this is an interesting one. So I'm going to do a harder question, maybe somebody who's been in the industry for a little bit, and then answer one of the questions that seems to come up quite often. Okay, so this one is about hiring staff to help you grow your portfolio. So this is definitely something that you are going to have to look into if you want to scale up or level up in real estate. Okay, so here's the thing. When you are hiring, you do not want to assume that the person knows anything. Like, you're going to have to give them training unless they can prove to you that they come with some sort of real estate experience. So even the analyzing, even simple admin stuff, do not assume anything here. So now the question is, at what point do you delegate? At what point do you hire out? Okay, so I've got a virtual admin in the Philippines, and I have one here. And so, you know, for me, hiring out, it got to the point where I found myself repeatedly doing stuff that was not the bestest use of my time. It wasn't, the returns on that work isn't as high. So it was actually something that I could delegate off. It's something that I could teach somebody else. So if you're at that position where you're finding that you're doing stuff over and over again, and it's not stuff that requires a lot of thinking, yes, you can delegate that off. Okay, so for me, I'm hiring staff to, you know, do my social media. I'm hiring staff to make those initial contacts for certain things that I'm doing. My admin here, you know, does the scanning, does invoicing for me, all of that stuff. So anything that you can delegate, definitely go ahead and delegate that. My admin in the Philippines actually will reach out to my tenants with bills that they have to pay, like, so some of the hydro, some of the Enbridge bills, right? My admin takes care of all of that for me. So you want to delegate stuff off so that you can free up your time to do the higher quality output stuff to scale up. Okay, so if you're wondering, okay, well, what stuff can I delegate off? Okay, use the Eisenhower matrix. Anything that you're repeatedly doing over and over again, that Eisenhower matrix will help you find that and help you determine what stuff you're wasting your time on that, you know, that you could be delegating off. Okay, So one of the comments that I got with the hiring is, well, what if that person takes double the time to do that work and I can do it faster? Okay, so here's the thing, that's a control thing. Okay, so you have to work through that mindset on that, because even if your admin takes double the time or even 3 times the time to do it, okay, the way to think about it, like you're paying them 20, 25, 30 bucks. Okay, so if you double that or triple that, let's just say it's an hour. Okay, you're gonna, if you got that 1 hour back, okay, you should be making way more than $100. Okay, so even if it took them 3 hours to do a task that takes you 1 hour, that's okay, because you would be making way more money than that. Okay, and the time, so, but you have to make sure that you are using that time efficiently. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, so that's a good one. Okay, so the next question, and I'm going to combine 2 questions together. One is, I don't have the income or savings to fulfill the goal of having multifamily properties, but I want to make it happen. And how can I reach that? Okay, and I'm going to combine that with this question about, so you know what, I'm going to leave this other question because it actually is different enough. Okay, so I'm going to just answer that first question about not having the income. Well, so here's the thing. We're in a time right now where a lot of people don't have the money to make things happen. Okay, it's really a mindset around the abundance of money. Okay, so even if you don't have the money, okay, if you keep saying, I don't have the money to make this deal happen, I don't have the money to go into real estate, I don't have the money to do this, okay, that is the wrong attitude. That's the wrong question to be asking. Okay, this is the wrong question to be asking. Okay, because here's the thing, if you have a job, okay, get into the good money habits first, because that will get you into a lot more of the bigger deals. So first off is you want to not think about, hey, I'm at 0 and I want to get to 100 miles per hour, right? Like I'm at 0 doors or 1 or 2 doors now, and I want to get to 200 doors. Okay, like you're literally going from 0 to 100 miles per hour. Okay, what you want to do is figure out, okay, well, how do I get from 0 to 10 miles per hour? How do I get from where I am now to 20 miles per hour? Okay, so one of the things to do is look at a side hustle. Are you making the highest salary that you can be right now from your current job? And if you're not making a great salary, okay, well, then you need to figure out, okay, well, if I switch companies, would I make more money? Can I negotiate for a higher salary? Okay, just because you're in your current job doesn't mean that you can't be making more money. Okay, now keep in mind that you want to look at increasing your income and decreasing your expenses. So it's a twofold exercise, right? If you're eating out every day, if your money habits is to constantly go and shop, okay, then you're not going to be able to increase your income, because it's a double-edged thing here, right? Okay, so now a lot of this is very, you know, hopefully these are things that you've learned growing up, but I realize that not everybody comes with parents that teach you how to save and how to be good with money. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly list a couple of things around money management that you should be aware of, and then we'll go into actually how to get into bigger opportunities and how to start acquiring. Okay, so side hustles, increasing your income, decreasing your expenses. Okay, negotiating for a new job, a new salary, increasing salary every year, or looking for a higher paying job. Okay, the next thing is make sure that you're saving up to 10% of your income, of your gross. Okay, so it's not your net, it's your gross. So whatever you're bringing home, are you saving 10% of that? Okay, and if you're like, Hong, I can't save 10%, okay, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, start with 1. Okay, once you get into the habit of saving 1, then increase that to 2%. Okay, if you cannot save the money, okay, there's a lot of mindset stuff around that. Okay, then I would suggest that you get your hands on the book Richest Man in Babylon. Read that book. That book is an old book, but it is an amazing book. Okay, you can get it from the library, you can buy it from the used bookstore. okay? The Richest Man in Babylon, okay? And I don't know who the author is, okay? But read that book. That is one of the many, many books that I would recommend on how to change your mindset around money and how to actually go from no money situation to having money in your pocket. Okay, so I would definitely say stop saying I have no money. How do I make a deal happen? Okay, start looking at the concept that, hey, you know what? You have enough money now. How do you make the money that you have now work for you? Okay, so it's definitely a mindset issue there. So the biggest thing is really taking action. And that means if you don't have the experience and you don't have the money, you need to find somebody to come in your corner and be on your team, who's going to show you how to analyze, show you how to find the deals, and show you how to structure it so that, yeah, you don't need to put in the capital, okay? Because if you have to put in the capital and you don't have the capital, that's what's going to be holding you up. But it's also the experience that you need, okay? Because here's the thing. Oh, that goes to my one question. Where did it go? That if I don't have, okay, so this is, okay, I don't have the money and I don't have the experience. How do I bring somebody on that has the experience and or has the money? So here's the thing. I get this a lot because I meet a lot of newbie investors and they want me to come on their team. So, and they're looking for money. So here's the thing. I always say, okay, well, how much money do you need, you know, like for me to be a part of your deal? And they'll say, okay, you know, like 100,000, you know, 200,000. So I'll say to them, hey, how are you going to protect my investment? I'm going to be putting in 100,000 into your opportunity. How are you going to protect that? Okay. And a lot of times they don't have an answer for that. Or they'll say, well, Huong, I'll just make sure that your money that you put in, I'm going to return that back to you no matter what. That is not a good enough answer, okay? So as a person coming in, investing in your opportunities, one, I want to know how you're going to protect my initial capital, okay? So you have to look at my money as not as your money. Like you're going to treat my money better than the way you treat your own money, okay? So that, and you have to figure out a way to convey that to me so that I believe you when you say, hey, Huong, I'm going to treat your money better than my money, okay? How long is my money going to be tied up? Is it a year? Is it 3? Is it 5? Okay, so usually when you do an opportunity, you're going to put your money in for 5 years and wait for the refinancing to be able to pull that cash out. Well, can you do better than that 5 years? Okay, what is my return? Right? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Right? If my money's tied in there for the full 5 years and I'm only making, let's say, 1 or 2%, that's not going to be worth my time. Right? It's not going to be worth, like, my money is not going to be working very hard at that point. Okay. So if I can be 5 or 6%, okay, well, then maybe that might be worth looking at, because after I get my capital back, I'm still going to be seeing that 5, 6, 7% return. Okay. So it's infinite at that point. Okay. So that's where the, how long is my money going to be tied up for? Okay. So that's an important thing to consider. Okay. And then the other thing to consider too is when I look at investing into an opportunity, I say, okay, well, you know what? How much stress am I going to have with this opportunity? How much sleep am I going to lose with this? If I put my money in, am I going to be worrying about this every night, once a month? Am I going to be having an insomnia because of this opportunity? And if there's even like a slight hint of potentially losing sleep over it, it's not the right opportunity for me. Okay. And you as the person presenting the opportunity, if you know that that other person, the investor coming in, is going to be losing sleep, if they're going to be stressed out about it, that's probably not the right partner for you. Because here's the thing, your job is to manage that opportunity, not to manage your investors. Okay, in the sense that, oh my God, they're going to be stressing out. They're going to be constantly calling me, asking me where my money is. You don't want those types of investors coming in. You want them to get the confidence with you so that they don't worry and lose sleep. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I have gone way over time again. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody has a wonderful family quality time. If you'd like to see me before next Monday, feel free to email me send me a meeting invite. Happy to connect. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday, same time, same place. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.